So I'm at the park on the hill, on my hill, and I was nudged to go back and go through relationships, marriages, or more casual connections, whatever it's been, and go through the different red flags that I ignored with each person, with each connection, whatever it was, because so much could have been avoided. And I'm sitting here just laying down, talking with God, and starting to go through some of them. Like, it just came up and it was like, just casually listing them. And then it's like, oh shit. Yeah. It's not about what the red flag was, who it was, or what was said or done. It's about that every single time, without fail, every single time, there was a red flag. It's not that I didn't see it. It's not that I didn't know. It's not that I knew every single time. And I chose to ignore it. I chose to continue on anyways. I chose to people please. I chose to abandon myself and my intuition and my inner guidance, spirit speaking to me, different signs and warnings and things like that every single time anything came up. And I remember when I was recording the podcast, the dating podcast, about stuff that had happened with Ken, and I was like, I thought my intuition was on point. Like, that's what makes me most upset about this, is that I thought my discernment was on point. And I go back and I'm looking at some of like the flags with him, and I was like, actually, Vanessa, if you remember, and if you're willing to be honest with yourself, there was this, there was this, there was that, and you chose not to speak up because you didn't want to seem troublesome, burdensome. You didn't want to seem like you were petty, or you just were too much attention to detail, or you saw this or you saw that, and you just kind of let it slide, gave him the benefit of the doubt, or whoever. And so it's like, I definitely don't need to go back and unpack every single fucking thing, because that would be hellish with everybody in my whole life. Like, no thank you. But the point is, this time that I'm spending in solitude and in devotion to myself, and this individuation process, is a very sacred time for me to get very loyal to myself and my inner voice and my inner knowing and my intuition, and give myself full permission to take up space, to let my voice be heard, even if it feels petty, even if it feels insignificant, even whatever you think of me when I say what I'm feeling, because my intuition is actually on point most of the time. And it's not about me not having seen it. It's about me seeing it and choosing them over expressing myself, choosing their comfort over my own knowing. And that is a really valuable lesson. I'm not dating right now at all, but eventually at one point I will, in some way or another. And that's something that I can never, ever, ever afford to bypass or ignore ever again, is my own inner knowing, my intuition, and my feeling the need to say something over something that seems irrelevant or insignificant or whatever. No, if it came up for me, there's a reason for it, and we need to talk about this. And if you don't want to, that's absolutely perfectly fine. and we just don't need to talk anymore. That's just it. Oh my God, I just thought that was so helpful for me to just take that accountability of like, oh, it's not that you didn't know, it's that you chose to ignore it, to allow things to play out, but also you abandoned yourself. In some of those flags that you ignored, you betrayed yourself completely. In some ways bigger than others. And it is what it is. It was all a choice. You got the experiences that you wanted to experience. But now you know that A, you don't play about yourself ever again. B, always trust your intuition and always say what you want to say, because if you say it and it's nothing, then it's nothing. But if you don't say it and it's something, you know what that has cost you in the past in many different ways with many different people. And fuck that. And see, I'm just going to throw this in just as a bonus. You will never again, ever again, accept less than you deserve. And it's relevant because you deserve to be heard in whatever your curiosity or you're wondering about, or even if you feel like it's rooted in your own insecurities of your own things that you've experienced of betrayal and your own projections of trauma, whatever, all this shit. Who cares? That's your reality. And if somebody can't hold space for you in that, that's really good information for you to know. But you need to hold yourself in the place of knowing that you deserve for your voice to be heard. You deserve for your intuition to be heard by you, and make space for that in whatever interaction you're having. And never again will you ever settle for accepting less than you deserve from anybody. That's all. Have a good day. Okay, here's the thing. I just want to ground this information and make it really practical. Give some examples, because one of my very, very first podcasts, like episode 1, 2, or 3, I talked about how I no longer wanted to abandon myself in relationship and how I could be trusted, and I was going to prove that I could be trusted, right? And I meant that. I meant that fully. But the fact is that I did. And the thing is that when you choose something else or somebody else over yourself, and I'll go into what that means in a little bit, it starts in very small ways where it feels like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's, you betray yourself in very tiny little micro ways. And those things either add up or they become bigger ways. And what I mean by that is our bodies, right? Our bodies are really... Excuse me. Our bodies are our inner barometer to say yes or no. And that's why it's so important to sit in stillness and feel for yourself what your homeostasis is in your body, and so you could feel what a no feels like and what a yes feels like. The only reason why we would need to practice this is because we've suppressed our no's and our true yeses for so long, and we've said yes when we wanted to say no thousands of times over our lifetime, and we've said no when we wanted to say yes. Probably not as common, but the body will tell us, because the body doesn't lie. As much as we want to people please and fawn and all this shit, the body can't lie. The biology, the physiology, whatever it is, whatever science you want to. I talked about I talked about taking a course from Holistic Life Navigation with Luis Mojica and his team, called Finding Safety in Yourself. I also did a 3-part workshop called Recovering from Sexual Fawning, which is really recovering from fawning, but very specifically in sexual settings too, but it's universal to all of life. And it's just a matter of like, all of it is somatic. It's just a matter of like going to the body and being like, what are the sensations? What are you telling me? Is that a yes or a no? Green light, red light, all this stuff. And it happens in very small ways. And it also happens in very big ways. And I meant that when I said that I no longer was going to abandon myself or betray myself for anyone else. And I meant it when I said that I could be trusted. And when I was confronted with those things, in things like dating, because I was looking for a specific experience that was more casual, I did bypass a lot of the things because I felt like I had to in order to experience what I wanted to experience. I didn't really have permission or space to be as vocal as I should have been, as I deserved to get what I received, because it was like, it wasn't that deep, it wasn't that serious. And it's like, perhaps, but also I could have spoken up for myself in little things and said, no, that's not going to work for me. And it would have probably not only gone a lot better for myself, but I would have kept my word to myself. And so I'm getting I'm in the middle, I'm getting close to ending my fast for December 2025, right? And I decided to extend it to what I lovingly, affectionately refer to as a year of devotion to myself. The fast included things like sobriety, celibacy, quieting the noise from without, to be able to go within and listen deeply. Myself, my heart, God, spirit. And it's been beautiful. So much so that within like the first few days, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to extend this for a full year of devotion to myself. That's just what came up for me. And so I came here to sit on this hill to kind of envision and feel out and dream what that will look like for me. And what it looks like is me staying true to my own integrity of my yes and my no, of what I feel within my body, within my intuition, within my heart, and honoring that regardless of who it is, how big or small the relationship seems, and how willing or unwilling I am to disappoint them, because never again will I ever accept less than I deserve, and never again will I ever betray myself to fawn or please for someone else. That's the goal. That's the goal of this year, is to really lean into that. And I think it's going to be, I don't want to say easier, but I'm sure I'll have plenty of opportunity to practice this, but because I won't be in connection with anybody romantically, like continued celibacy, I think a lot of it will continue to play out in practice when I start connecting with people again, which won't be for a long time. But it's going to be an interesting journey, and I'm here for it, like always. But necessary, sacred. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the version of myself that arises 1 year from now. My goal is to become a very centered and relaxed version of myself, unhurried and just at peace and present with myself and with my daughters, with my body and the somatics of how my body speaks to me, and to truly honor the vow that I made about this time last year as my version of a New Year's resolution. I vow to be my body's best friend. I vow to hold space for all I have going on within me. I vow to gift myself heart space with me and God. I vow to stop and breathe and linger so as to create spaciousness. I vow to value what matters most to me. I vow to be capacity led and speak my truth. I vow to love myself first and most. I think that's all of them. I say them often. They're right next to my bed. That's what this year is for me. Continuation of really personifying those vows in my own life in a very real and grounded, tangible way. Bringing them out of the ethereal, theoretical into what does this actually look like for me practically. A nourishment plan to heal the autoimmune stuff I have going on. Continued minimized social media and extra noise from without. Continued celibacy. I'm not sure about the sobriety piece. That's just fun once in a while. It hasn't been hard to not do that. But, having a glass of wine once a month or something is not difficult for me to do or not do, so it's not a big deal. But I do look forward to leaning more into breath work, which is something that has a very psychedelic type effect anyways, so I think that's really fun. Leaning more into like intuitive meditation type things. So I may not even desire anything like that, so we'll see. But I'm very, like I said, excited to see the version of me that arises after this type of pouring into myself. It's been something that I've known that has been necessary for a while, but also that I've longed to do for years, actually, since between my first marriage and my second marriage this is what I should have done to heal. And here we are now. So I'm excited. And it's been amazing so far. The fast has been incredible. Like, yeah. Have a good night.